All right, let's see if anybody jumps on in here. All right, guys, it is a random Friday night. Who knows if anybody is even going to hop up on in here. I have not advertised. I have not promoted. I have not done a thing. And the reason being is because, well, I just found this laptop sitting over here. So let's just see what happens. If anything, I got a beer. I got the fans turning because it's hot in here tonight. And let's see if anybody hops up in here. Then I'll reveal what's going on. Maybe I should throw something up on Instagram so that way some people know what's going on. All right, let's see. Got a couple people coming in here. Be sure to hit up the chat, guys. If you have any questions, be sure to put them down. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. Got someone here. What's up, Chris? What's going on, man? Like I said, this is completely random. I'm just testing this out to making sure that the Wi-Fi actually works out here properly in the shop. Last time that I did a live stream with Paul DeFox, it didn't go so hot because my internet wasn't very good. Let's see what we got here. 4i. Funny enough, I had Spike on the podcast with me and Kazel last week. And Spike is the gentleman who is actually painting the 4i. And it's coming along well. I got to send a different Dutch kit down to him to put onto that car. And once that gets down there, then he'll finish everything up. But otherwise, the car's pretty much in primer and ready to go. So that's where that is. We'll just see if a couple more people jump on in here. If you guys have any questions, just hit me up. Well, you got my attention. You can see there's no headlights in the Cali Coupe here. And that's because, well, I'm going to unveil that here shortly and share with you guys what I got going on. So hopefully you guys can hear me all right. If you can, just somebody give me a thumbs up or just say everything is working good. What else we got here? Oh, what's up, James? Hopefully everybody's keeping well where they're at and enjoying their Friday night. Here we go. What's up? What's going on, Shane? Real Fox Body Addicts. What's going on, guys? The font on my screen is so tiny. I need binoculars to see what's going on. All right, James. Thank you, man, for confirming that. I think my upload is good. That was what happened with Paul DeFox's live stream. Was the upload was good, but my download was just horrible. Country living problems. So. Yeah, we'll just, I'll get it to the 5-minute mark here, then I'll reveal with you guys. I don't care if I got like 2 guys in here or 20 guys in here. You guys are going to get to see it first. And man, this has actually been my first legit live stream since what, 2009, 2010. So I really appreciate everybody who's jumping on. Volume is good. Awesome, man. Appreciate it. So I'm gonna have a whole bunch of videos coming out here soon, but we're wrapping up the Cali Coupe, and man, you guys are gonna be in for something special when you see what happened when I was trying to put in those aftermarket LMR windows. It was a battle. I was thankful that I picked up the GoPro, to be honest with you guys, because I wasn't going to do it because I was just like, oh man, I'm just installing trim and putting on quarter windows. But shit went sideways. We'll just put it that way. What else is going here? Oh man, I'm going to be down here. I'll be down in Texas in the U.S. for a while. Let's not, we'll stay out of politics and everything else. as much as I enjoy the Canadian summers, I'll be down here. I'm headed up to Hershey next week to Chocolate Fox. So very excited for that one. To be my first Chocolate Fox adventure. I got my friend Mr. Notorious. He's actually going to be driving the White Dutch Coupe down from Canada to the show. So I'm going to fly up. I'll meet him there and hang out with everybody that's going. And then I'm actually going to have the car sent the rest of the way down to Texas and enjoy it down here. So, well, let's get into it, guys, because I don't want to really waste any time because I'm actually excited for what's happened. I had no, I guess, real expectations of what got delivered today. I dropped off, let's just say, some headlights to my painter, and I thought it'd be a couple weeks, and he surprised me. He actually showed up tonight, and when he told me he was coming, I quickly pulled the headlights out of here because I want to share with you guys and show you what I did and get your guys' feedback. You guys are going to see it first. Nobody knows that I was going to do this, so it's just, again, completely random, nothing rehearsed, nothing. Let me just read these messages real quick. Oh, man, that's crazy. About the 92 Coupe getting stolen, man. And Real Fox Party Addicts. Yeah, man, I hear you. It's hard to make every show, right? So sometimes you just got to make the ones that you can. And I completely get it. I've always been, whether I was overseas and I was making a trip just to come over to attend some shows or SEMA or whatever it is, it's challenging. And to be honest, I didn't even think, for some reason, my geography, I should have watched more Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego when I was a kid. But I thought Hershey was not like west, but like I thought it was like south of Buffalo. I had no idea that it was that far towards the East Coast. So, it works out well for Notorious, who'll be driving my coupe down because it's only about a 7.5 hour drive for him. Meanwhile, I'm going to be like 10 hours and, flights and layovers and everything else to make it down to the show. So, anyways, yeah, guys, just whatever shows you can make it to, then make it to them. What else we got going on here? Have I ever had to send something back to LMR? Yeah, man, I'm going to do more lives. I'm going to figure it out. I did throw it out there on, if I should do them on Saturdays or Sundays. I don't want to step on other people's toes because, Neo is, he's consistent on his Sundays. I know Ken from Blue Oval Media, he gets on as well, and they've all been pretty good. So I was thinking about trying to do morning stuff, but then it's hard for me to plan my weekends. So maybe I'll start doing them later Sunday nights. I don't know, but I will do a better job if I can at getting more lives out. And it's funny, right? Because I actually started with lives before even YouTube could do them. So here I am now playing catch up, trying to do some lives with you guys. So what else we got here? Tip Tuesdays. Yes, as Kazel would say, just the tip, and that I need to be playing off that tagline a little bit more, which I don't blame them. What else do we got here? Other events. I'll absolutely be at Foxtoberfest. I'm hoping to have 3 cars there this year, and kind of making a little bit of a bigger ordeal. I just booked in my registration for SEMA as an attendee, not as an exhibitor. So, I will be there hanging out, seeing what's going on. I'm sure there'll be more Fox bodies out there as, these things have been spreading like wildfire. What else am I going to do? I'll be doing the LMR cruise in for sure. And we'll see what else I can make it to. It's just, once the fall hits, it's like everything all comes together. Did do a podcast last night. We recorded with Harris Liu from Liu Creative, and he was kind of giving me more insights to Mustang Week. And of course, this year is going to be the last year of it, so might actually be worth the trip. I want to do the Woodward Dream Cruise as well. I haven't done it since 2007, somewhere around there. That's just such a cool event. As much as I love the Fox Body stuff, like I am genuine car guy, so I am agnostic. Like a cool car is a cool car, and anybody who's passionate about their car, I can respect that, and I don't mind seeing it, even if it's not something that I would do. That's fine as well. Which I'm about to show you guys something that might not be something that y'all would do either. So what else do we got here? Tuesdays. Lead on a coupe. Yes, absolutely. Yes, send me a PM. I'm always looking at buying stuff. I actually think I might have bought another Dutch car today. We'll see how that goes. I haven't worked on an old Maverick. And how do I feel wrapping? Funny enough, we talked about wrapping, I think, on the podcast. To me, it just seems like cheating. And you know what I mean? You can almost get the same output or end result. Like if you want to change the color real quick, or you want to do design or stripes or something that you think that you might get bored of. It's kind of the quick way of getting there, or even just testing it out. Like before you commit to those flames, man, throw some vinyl on. Completely unrelated. I'm a big watch guy. I don't wear watches very often when I'm working on cars because you're liable to scratch your paint or maybe hit a battery terminal or something you don't want to do. But I used to buy fake watches, like a fake Rolex or fake Tag or fake whatever. And that way I could like wear it and really see if I liked it. And it was worth committing to the real watch, instead of investing all the money up front and then just to find out that that's not what I wanted. So something similar with vinyl. I can see it that way, but at the end of the day, like I think just anybody who's like a year ahead, like in their blood, that you just want paint. And me, I'm biased because I love the whole paint process. I love the prep. I love everything that's involved in trying to get ready for that moment when you are going to spray that paint and completely change the look of the car. And that's going to be that. And I think it's so self-fulfilling and rewarding that the vinyl wrap it doesn't do it for me. Now, I didn't realize so many people would be getting on this late. Hot rod is a hot rod, absolutely. Okay, I'm trying to keep up over here. Ford Takeover. That's good. I just went to Texas 2K in Houston. And, oh man. Yeah, man, thank First Productions. You've made it around. 95 GT battling idle surge. Once it warms up, replaced all of the above sensors, not finding any vacuum leaks. Well, that should behave much like the Fox body. You could have a bad IAC. There's a lot of stuff on there. There's a lot of idle videos, guys. Sometimes that stuff it's always something so simple, but there's so many things that you got to check. People are going to be like, check your timing, check your vacuum leaks, check your TPS, EGR. What else will they go through? And there's just so much involved in that. Obviously, your IAC and all those other things. So, yeah, man, just run through the troubleshooting list and try and get them. Yes, you absolutely get what you pay for when it comes to paint. And for the individual who asked me if I've ever had to replace or send something back to LMR, I've had a couple issues. Some of their stuff was good. Before some people jumped on, I was actually saying wait for the video in the coupe quarter windows, the blems that I installed in the Kelly coupe here. I ran into an issue. I didn't return them because I don't even think they have the stock to be able to replace them. So I had to fix them. But it'll be interesting to see what they have to say if they watch that video. So while you guys are throwing in some comments, I'm actually going to show you guys now what I went ahead and did. So my problem with the headlights on the Cali coupe is, number one, they were a little worn out. Like, it probably looks pretty clear on the camera, but it's got some marks in it. It's, it needs to be polished out. It can be cleaned up. It can be made to look a lot better, but that wasn't the main problem. The main problem for me is on a white car. I hate the look of the amber reflector. And I think even more so on this car because it has the black molding. I just feel like there's too much going on, and amber just doesn't do the paint theme or style justice. And I just want to do something different, which I tend to do. So when I got the Celine car, the SSC clone, it's a real Celine, but it's a SSC clone Celine. That car came with an extra set of headlights. If you guys didn't notice, that car has one-piece headlights in it, which we won't even get into one-piece headlights and trash and garbage and whatever they are. But it came with another set of headlights. And they're not my first pick because normally I'd go after the diamond clears that you get from LMR. And it came with these ones that have like a little city light, which I'm about to hold up in a second. And I was like, what am I going to do with these lights? Because normally it's like diamond clear or nothing, and whether I smoke them or I tint them blue like I did on the silver coupe, I wanted to try something different. So I was like, what the hell? Why don't I use these headlights that I got that thankfully aren't one piece, but are something different? So here we go. If you guys are familiar with my silver coupe, you would know that I have tinted blue headlights on the front of it. And that was simply done by mixing in a little bit of blue paint with a clear coat. I scotched the lens down with a purple Scotch pad, and 3 coats of the clear with the blue tint was the result that is on the Tip Dutch coupe. So these guys, again, not the first choice for a lot of people because it has like this weird little inside light here. But these are sort of like the perfect candidate to try and test stuff out and see what it would look like. Again, I could have bought the transparent vinyl tint film that is used for headlights, and I could have wrapped them with that. But I figured I would try this because if I liked it, then it would stay, and it's clear coated, so it's going to last. It's going to be durable, and I'm not going to run into the issues with the tint films and trying to stretch it and heat it and everything else. So, of course, I did the whole thing. So I got the inner markers done, I got the outers and everything in yellow mixed with clear, and I actually had a local painter do these for me. I can't take the credit for it. These were done by Red Dog's Custom Paint. He is the one who resprayed the twin turbo Coyote notch. So he didn't even really know about this trick. I told him, I'm like, dude, you got some like yellow laying around? And he actually had some candy yellow that he dumped in, and he got these done up for me. So I'm anxious, right? Because I didn't think I was going to get these right away. And he messaged me tonight. He's like, yeah, man, I can come drop them off to your place. So I ran out here. I took out the headlights. I cleaned up all in the headlight area here. So everything's nice and clean. And I should be able to go ahead and install these guys in. I see there's a lot of messages coming in, so let me read those. I grab my beer. I hope everybody's got their Friday night beverage. What are my thoughts on cheap paint jobs? Let me see. You guys are actually, you got lots of questions tonight. Idle Surge. Cheap paint jobs. I don't like them. Like, I've been there when I was younger and I wanted an affordable paint job. So you kind of deal with the money that you have. I'd say unless you're battling rust issues or something that's structural or a major issue, then I would hold off before just going out and putting a Band-Aid on something. Do it right the first time if you can. Rust-Oleum, if you're talking about that turbo cam, and I've seen some YouTube videos, like the fan on that is literally like this. Like you could do 3 passes and paint the whole side of your car. Yeah, no, don't do that. You're just going to end up with more problems in the end. Let's see, LMR Cruisin'. I've never been to the LMR Cruisin'. That's why I want to go to it. let's see here. Weekend, thanks for awesome content. No problem, man. Yeah, man, guys, hit the like button for sure. Anything that you guys, do to support the channel, I always appreciate it. I probably don't even pitch myself as much as I should. I'm not that guy. Like, if you like my shit, you'll hit like, and that's it. Um, all in the prep, 100%. Putting down the paint is it's like the reward. It's like eating dessert. But doing all that sanding, doing all the prep stuff, the cleaning and blocking, using guide coat, all of those things, extremely important in your paint job. What else do we got here? All my things are sweet. Thank you. I love painting cars. Yeah, me too. You want the white turbo coupe. Body and paint because of me. Thanks for inviting into the shop. No problem, guys. Scroll down some more. Bud Light. There you go. All right, Luke. Thank you. Thank you for liking the lights. Yeah, see you in the sun for sure. The car's filthy as well, so looked really good. Box body headlight alignment. Well, shit, we can do that tonight if you guys want. Convertible top install. Yeah, it looks easy. Honestly, it's not that bad. Like, if your cables and stuff are snapped and the actual padding underneath the top itself is messed up, you're going to be in for a little bit more time. But changing convertible top, honestly, isn't that bad. I've done them like in the driveway. I remember I was like 18 when I did my first one and didn't know any better and just kind of picked up a staple gun and kind of went at it. And it actually turned out good. The key is like stretching. Like, just make sure that you stretch and you get everything, especially where you go around the hockey stick area or the quarter panels. Make sure you don't have any, I guess, ripples in the vinyl. Make sure you get that stretched down. Even if you got to use a heat gun, take your girlfriend's blow dryer, whatever you got to use, you'll be good to go. Does the color affect the brightness? So I guess we're going to find out when once I get some bulbs in there. The yellow isn't too bad. I think there is going to be a little bit of a yellow shine. I do have LED bulbs to put in here as well, so it'll brighten things up. The blue lights in the silver car, believe it or not, when the lights are on, you almost don't even see the blue anymore. It just kind of looks clear. And I think that's just sort of like the natural, like there's natural blue tinge in glass by default. So I think that's the reason for it. And I'll give you guys a sneak peek because, since you guys are on here and this was so last minute, here's actually a lightly blue tinted light here. This is the proper diamond clear light that I was talking about earlier. And you can see it up against the yellow one here. So this one is not as blue as what's in the silver car, but I'm going to install these on my white Dutch coupe before the chocolate fox. So I got these done specifically for it because the headlights on that car are starting to yellow. That car was built back in like 2004. The paint is old. There's stone chips on it, so I want to try and get that car looking as good as possible for the show because, well, you want to represent and look good. It's not like I just built that car. That was one of my first builds. So that's going to be a nice little upgrade. Of course, I've done all 6 lights. So I got to pack these in my carry-on and bring them on the plane with me and get them installed. So what else everybody else saying here? Be good. Yeah, like yellow. It's like a French lighting, right? Fox bodies are a curse, man, especially black notchbacks. Bulb LED. Yeah, so I actually use LED bulbs. You come in Ontario. Yeah, so no Ontario. I'll be down here for the rest of this year, most likely. I'll get into more details and stuff here shortly on what I'm trying to achieve and do. I use LEDs. I brought some out here. You know where I put them? Actually, they're next to the laptop right here. So Amazon specials. These are the turn. I think these are the turn indicators. No, these are the turn / parking light. These are the corner lights, and then I have this one actually already has LED headlights in it. I don't know what brand they are, but I got another set up there on the shelf. I'll do a video. I'll post all the information on these. And again, they're nothing special. They're just what works for the price. On Amazon, everything ultimately, half this stuff's got Chinese writing on it. So like your guess is as good as mine in terms of longevity. But let's try and get a couple of these lights in. I actually wasn't expecting so much interaction, which is awesome. But I do want to try and get a little bit of work done. So I'm going to multitask. So the main thing, I'm sure some of you guys have installed these lights, but you always kind of start from the inside and work your way out. And I'll be damned, this one's actually got a chip in it. See, good thing that I didn't care about these lights, and it's really just for testing to see ultimately if I'm going to like the look or not. All right, so, and these inside corner lights right here, this one particularly, if you guys have a 90 through 93 and you have that airbag sensor that's sitting right here, this is probably the worst light to access the stud to try and get it installed. So thankfully, this car's an 88, so no airbag sensor. Here, I already got here's the old school bulb. Look how old that is. You know what? I got the wrong LED because I forgot 88s don't have the 3157. It's got the other style bulb, and I just pulled it out. So here we go. You guys saw it live. Shit happens. That's just the way box bodies go. We'll deal with the bulbs later. This is more about seeing how these guys are going to look. And this one's definitely going to be able to use an alignment. So for the person that asked, well, there's a few things that you can do. And the main one is to make sure that all of your studs are in position on this backing plate. And if need be, you need to get a tiny little socket on here, and you'll turn these guys and they'll allow you to position the light. Actually, I'll get closer. So these guys right here, they have like, I forget what it is, like it's probably like a 730 seconds or something. You just got to get a little socket on there, and you can spin these, and that's what's going to allow you to adjust the headlight ultimately. Now, funny enough with Fox bodies, there's two ways that you can look at headlight alignment. You can look at headlight alignment so that you can see more on the road, or you can look at headlight alignment to make sure that the lights all fit flush. And I actually go after flush more so than projection on the road, because I'm not trying to drive at night a whole bunch, and I want to make sure that my lights don't look all jacked up. So I have found that sometimes I've had to use a couple washers on the backside of these, especially in the aftermarket world, or maybe you got an aftermarket bumper and stuff just doesn't fit 100%. So that's all stuff that you need to factor in when you're putting a new set of lights in. Now, I'm not going to go crazy and like fully install these guys on here because I want to get back to the chat and see what y'all have to say, but at least it'll give you an idea what things are going to look like. Like I said, these lights were free. They came with the Celine car, so they were the perfect candidate to see what doing a French yellow light on a white car would look like. I'll just tuck that down in there for now, since I know I need to deal with that. That's gonna have to get aligned a bit better. Well, what do you guys think? Might be hard to tell with that shitty webcam. I might have to get some proper pictures, but it's looking pretty good. Let me check the messages out here. Convertible top. Yep, I've tried to do it. Yeah, man, don't feel bad for tossing the airbag sensor in the trash. I disconnect all airbags. They are, man, who wants 1990s technology potentially hitting you in the face? Like, they designed those things for people that didn't wear their seatbelts. That was probably more political than safety. Nobody wants that. Wear your seatbelt and don't worry about the airbags. Now, again, maybe don't take my words literally. That's just my personal opinion. Yep, LEDs. You got to be careful. Some LEDs, they do some weird shit, guys. I've had them where they like reverse feed voltage back through. So like you'll turn your turn signal on and like something else will start flashing, or sometimes your flashers won't work. Like the flasher isn't compatible with the type of LEDs that you use. So you want to make sure that you use like the canvas, the error-free LEDs when you are buying them. Let's see here. I did not do the Stalker Vert top, if that's what you're referring to, James. Stalker Vert, I actually just changed the whole top frame completely. I had a 4-cylinder 93, and the top was in pretty good shape. And I wanted the 91 through 93 convertible top frame because it actually goes down 6 inches lower than the pre-91 cars. So I just did a swap. And the top, it's still the same top since, man, I don't even remember when I did that. That was a while ago. I actually want to put a canvas top on the Stalker Vert, so when I get around to that, that'll be a video. Oh, Daryl, what's up? What's going on, man? Hopefully your motor swap and all that stuff is going good. Thanks for tuning in. Glad you like the trim and all the LEDs and everything. What do we got here? All right, we got some, looks like people are digging the yellow. Let's see here, mine were missing. I bought it. Looks good, airbag. Oh yeah, there's some cool airbag videos for sure. I got a friend back in Canada, man, he sets those things off all the time. He does like the, puts it in like a bucket, 5-gallon bucket, and puts like a basketball on top and like launches it up in the air. Massachusetts, what's going on, man? Yeah, I know I need to do more lives. I know. I promise. I'll keep going at it, guys. Let's try and get this other side in just to give you guys some perspective on how this might look. This side isn't as bad or as tricky as the driver's side, which is good. See, one thing that I'm curious about is I keep these headlights. It's got like this little city light in here, which I'm assuming, yeah, I can swap that out for an LED. So maybe we'll just put something like super dim in there. Like almost like candlelight, instead of this even potentially trying to be light or bright, or maybe leave it disconnected. I don't know. Maybe, again, free. It's this is a testing scenario, not necessarily long-time commitment. Ultimately, if I like the look, then I would like to get diamond clears. The other thing that I don't like about these lights, and you guys might remember this, there was a point where all the DOT requirements started getting, like the aftermarket company had to start putting these amber reflectors in here. And I forget which car it was. I actually, so of course you take this off so you can get your bulb in the back. I got a tiny paintbrush and I took silver paint and I painted that reflector silver so that you couldn't see the amber. And I can't remember what car I did that on, but yeah, there's just the amber looks so bad. Now it doesn't look as bad hidden behind the yellow, so I'm sort of okay with it in this case, but I still don't like it. Like being a BMW guy, for any of you guys out there that like BMWs or know the E36 body style, which is the one that I'm probably most intimate with, um, you know, people always argued about leaving the corners amber. And on the Alpine white cars, there were some people, the purists were all about it. They're always like, oh man, amber corners, they're the shit. And I was just like, amber corners, gross, want to throw up in my mouth. But it is what it is. We all have our different styles, right? So here we go. Again, the bulbs aren't in. I haven't really bolted them down. I haven't done any adjustments. Kind of moved around a little bit when I closed the hood. But there you guys go. Maybe I can try to move the laptop and you guys can tell me. You guys can get a better idea. I'll take some proper pics. I got to get the car all washed up and everything else, but it's different. I don't know. Maybe if it was the diamond clears, I'd like it even more. But again, this is all about testing, right? Like it's non-committal, cheap, free headlights that came with another car. So why not try something out? Even if it doesn't stay, minimal investment, and it gets people talking, if anything. So let's see what you guys are saying. Tropic yellow car. So funny enough, C. Allen. I was thinking about doing it in the lemon drop car. So I didn't know if it'd be too much yellow on yellow because I got some other ideas in terms of contrasting and bringing out some other colors. George D. Mexico. Love Mexico, man. Happy belated Cinco de Mayo. I was drinking margaritas yesterday and celebrating that. Great holiday. Love Mexico. I'm going to be working on my Foxes this weekend. Well, that's good. Everybody should work on their Foxes during the weekend. Be careful. 600K bulb, yellow, and the blue makes green. Exactly. Somebody actually, I think they did French fogs, and they were like, man, I don't understand. Like, actually, there's a friend of mine. He stopped by the other day in his Terminator, and he Frenched out his fog lights, and he's like, yeah, when the lights are on, they turn blue or turn green. I said, well, you must have something higher than a 6K. 6K is actually very close to white. But once you start going past 6K, things start getting really blue. Like the fog lights in my Lightning, I think, are an 8K, and they're definitely blue. Do one of my piece in the same. Amber is the color of my energy. Well, there you go. Man, I'm not going to mess with your energy, dude. Man, it's always a late night, Benny, man. I am in Texas, so what is it? It's 10:45. It's Friday night. Got a Miller. Repping Neo. Shout out to Neo, man. He does really good at shouting me out in his lives. I try and check in and see what he's talking about on Sunday nights. And it's cool that, because he's really race car focused, and I'm kind of like more styling and stance and everything else. But it's so cool how we just all get along and just share similar interests and support each other. So, okay, so freaking sick. All right. Aren't we a pair? I like the amber, have a white LX. We're going to paint the moldings black. I plan to return it to white. Yeah, see, I didn't see. I've heard about this Shelby Fox body drawing. I don't know if I've seen it or I can remember it. Um, Connected to the fender solenoid. Oh, Jason, man, it's late for you, but man, it's Friday night. It's all right. On the East Coast, you're out with Bad Chad, PEI. Man, I got all types of Canadian love up in here. So thank you guys for tuning in, 100%. Um, yeah, the fender, the solenoid wires, they're actually pretty straightforward. I guess I can go through those on an episode for you guys, for you specifically. It's You're really just talking about 5 main feeds. You know, you got your power window, which is the black and white that has the weird little silver box on it. And you got the yellow one that goes to your alternator and your headlight harness. You got the blue wire, which is the main power for your ECU computer. And of course, you got the red positive. That is for your main battery feed. And if you have a high torque mini starter, you're going to have another one that's going down to your starter that's run off that guy. And of course, you got the actual Engage red with the blue stripe. Man, it's like Fox Body Quiz Night right there. Host an event. Yeah, you know what? I'd love to do it. I actually need to reach out to Infamous Brewery, which is out in Hill Country, out here in Northwest Austin. And you know, I like it obviously because it's got the word infamous in it, but I've actually been going there for years. It's a great little spot. They do live music, they got food trucks, and they've done some car washes and stuff in the past. I'm going to see if I can collaborate with them and maybe put on a little show, little infamous TIP show. Yeah, James, cool. We all got our own flavors. You know, like Beerhead 704 does, you know, his reviews and, you know, does all the stuff with Fox Resto, which is super cool. You know, you got Kazel, Gary, who's just an absolute hoot. You know, it's just, I wanted to do a podcast after I did that one with the Mustang Owners Museum during Foxtoberfest last year. And man, it's like we just hit it off. We've never met each other, but, you know, like I'm sure a lot of you guys in the chat, if we were in person or we were even on a Zoom call, I'm sure we'd have great conversation. San Antonio. Yeah, man. It was hot today. I got to say, a lot of people, they always kind of, what's the word? They're surprised by my tolerance to the heat. And, you know, I tell them, obviously, I just spent 10 years in the Middle East, so I'm used to 120 to 130 degrees. So today was warm. I actually cut the lawn, which was a chore and a half, but I'd rather do it today versus tomorrow because tomorrow's supposed to be even hotter. What else we got here? Lightning content. Yeah, that's a sore spot. I have to say that one kicked me right in the nuts, guys. If any of you guys are familiar with a 5.4 motor or like an actual Lightning and what it takes just to get the motor out, like I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like a Fox body. I can literally have everything disconnected and unbolted with the exception of like the 2 bolts that go into the like the engine spacer plate at the bottom of the bell housing, the lower starter bolt, and I think that's it. Maybe sometimes one of the motor mounts, depending, that one near the steering rack hardware, because sometimes all that's in the way. But I can do all that from the top side, and you know, I can yank. You guys have seen some of my videos, I'm sure. You know, that thing comes out in an hour and a half. The Lightning, it's like an all-day adventure to get the thing out. You got way more fluids to drain because you got the intercooler piping, the weird spider rad hose thing, and then you got to get underneath and get all of the torque converter bolts off. It's a pain in the ass. So to have taken it out, put the new motor in, got so excited, putting my braking miles on, and then for it to throw cylinder number 4, guys, it it sucked. And when I called the builder, he actually knew it. And this is what I love about this gentleman. He's just like, Chris, I know how you feel right now, and you probably want nothing to do with that truck. So take as much of your time as you need, park it off to the side, and once you're ready to take that motor out, then let me know and send it to me. So I was actually thinking about it this past week. So I think by the end of this month, I'll probably get the motor out. I'm going to send this freshly rebuilt one, plus the original one, and all the parts that I actually had stashed, all to the builder, and hopefully come back with a really good motor. Now I'm still skeptical because there are so many. There's just horror stories. These 5.4s, they don't like boost and they don't like holding together. And I'm not trying to make crazy power. I want reliability. Like, I don't care if it's like 1,000 horsepower motor, but it's only putting down 500. I'm okay with that as long as I get the mileage out of it. Because that, to me, it's a cruising truck. Like, I want to go get my parts in it. Just some Racer's Edge shit from Fast and Furious. You know what I mean? Just load up the back, got my parts, and that's it. So the other option I could do is I could Godzilla swap it, but I think I got enough Godzilla swap stuff in the pipeline here with the Lincoln, which I really want to get myself going on. I've given myself some hard deadlines on that one, and then possibly the Celine car. So we'll see how that goes. What else is everybody saying? Oh, glad you like the podcast. 50s Midwest weather. That's not bad. Yeah, 5.4s, they suck. Paul, yeah, so I'm hoping to be able to take on some customer projects here in the near future. I've been just taking like a big breather, you know what I mean? Like, my whole corporate world / overseas, it took a lot. So I've been trying to like detox, work on the stuff that I've got that I've been very fortunate on doing, and just kind of evaluating the market and making sure that whatever my approach that I take is going to be sustainable, whether it's a full-time thing or a part-time thing or whatever it is that I 100% want to immerse and throw myself into. Problem is, it's really hard to divide and chop myself up. Like, I can barely keep up with all the projects that are my own, let alone bringing other people's into the mix. The key there is having a good team of people that you trust. And I do know the people that I trust. It's a matter of pulling them together and making sure that it's done in a smart, sustainable way. So we'll see what happens here in the next few months. You guys might be pleasantly surprised with what my ideas are. And I just don't want to put the carriage in front of the horse, if that makes sense. So the Celine, man, that car, man, I got really discouraged, honestly, when I took that 331 out and I saw those frame rails, I saw the lower rad support, and realized how smucked it got in the front. It took a little bit of motivation away. Don't get me wrong, it's still a Celine car. It's just one of those things, like, you just got to kind of take a step back and reevaluate your expectations. Just be like, okay, you don't win them all. Some cars you get surprised by, some cars you get surprised by in a good way, some cars you get surprised by in a negative way. And the Celine was a little negative. It still is what it is. I would have been okay with the front end stuff if the rear wasn't all back half. Or, you know what I mean? Like, vice versa. It's okay that the back was all, mini tub, but I was expecting the front end to be okay. But now I literally have to deal with both ends of the car as a result. So it's going to take a lot of work. I need to make sure that my budget and my plan and everything, obviously, and my efforts go into a car that is in a smart way, because I don't want to be in a position to lose on it. To be honest with you guys, the smartest business thing to do right now would be to sell it the way that it is, or actually even part a few more things out on the car and get rid of it. That's probably the smartest thing to do, because I'd probably make just as much money as I will after putting in countless amounts of hours of labor to get it to what it's going to be. But that means I don't get to create cool content, and that I wouldn't get to build a Celine, which I think would be super cool. Like I said, if I can do a Celine / Dutch hybrid, that'd be super cool as well. So let's see what else is going on here. Move on, twin turbo. How wide of a tire? And you should watch some of my videos on fitment and lowering. I know it's kind of hard to decipher some of them because I usually jam so much information into my videos. The width of a tire, it all depends on a lot of things. What spindles are you running? What axles are you running? Are you lowered? Do you have rolled quarters? Do you have rolled fenders, pulled fenders, offset of your wheels? All of those things. And unless you know all of those things, I can't tell you honestly how wide of a tire. And then the tire itself matters. I actually had this conversation with somebody the other night. You know, when people used to brag that they could fit a 305 on the back of their Fox without, doing a mini tub, it was always a Nitto, and it could only ever be a Nitto because Nittos run narrow. If you had a different brand tire that was a 305, it wouldn't have fit because chances are it was running wider. So depending on the actual tire brand itself, you need to look at the specs of the tire to see what the overall width actually is. So even though they say it's a 255, well, once it's inflated, it could be less. It could be only 250. It could be 260. It could actually be wider, even though it is branded and labeled at 255. So you got to take all that stuff into consideration. 255, 60 15s. Man, I don't even remember the last time I ran a 15-inch tire. That'd be a hard one. 351, 427, similar to the Reef. I would do one if it fell into my lap. I don't even know how to explain it, guys. Like the motor stuff, I enjoy built motors. I just don't go out of my way to say, hey, I want that. I think the only motor that I've been excited about that it's like, yes, I am going to get that and put it in something is the Godzilla. I'm just so impressed and happy that Ford has come out with something in this day and age of everything going to EV, and something that is push rod, takes up less real estate than a Coyote, and it's not modular, doesn't sound modular, and it's built to put down power. So kudos to Ford in reality for, their 7.3 diesel is a really well-known motor, and now they have a 7.3 gas. So they've kind of got both big dogs covered, and they might be the last of their kind, unfortunately, but that's what that is. The video on how to color the headlights. Yes, there's a video when I had the red turbo notch and I smoked out a set of headlights and taillights, which is the exact same process. So I show you how to do it. I mix the clear with the black, which is tinting, but this is it's the same thing, but instead of using black paint and clear, it's yellow. Similarly with the blue, it's blue paint mixed in a clear coat. So yes, I have done that. You can look that up. What else? Backstory on Dutch Mustangs. I'm assuming that you mean a Canadian version of Celine. Yeah, I'm planning to do an actual Dutch documentary, which it's one of those things. I just need to start doing it, guys. Dutch is something that's very close to me personally. I just grew up with the name, and then I was fortunate enough to work with the founder, and he helped me build what I call is like the Dutch tribute car, which is my Tip Dutch Coupe. The Canadian version of Celine is probably the best and easiest way to describe it. Dutch actually worked with Celine in some instances with their race teams and race cars. And in fact, Dutch cars originally used the Celine body kits before they produced their own. But yeah, there's the documentary is probably the only thing that would do it justice to be able to share all the information and the history and everything about Dutches. 285s, you can make them fit. I actually have 285s on the Stalker Vert. They're 285 30 18 in the back on those 18 by 10 inch Corvettes. Those rear quarters are rolled and pulled, and yeah, it's an aggressive fitment. Now, mind you, that car is slammed right down to the ground. So if you weren't as low as that car, it would be easier to get a 285 on. First live you've ever caught, that is because it's the first live I've done in over a decade. So don't feel like you've missed out on much. LS swapping a Fox, no guys. Wouldn't do it. Won't catch me doing it. I can appreciate and understand why people have done it. And again, going back to the Godzilla, I hope the Godzilla is going to become like the replacement for all the LS nonsense. But maybe not, but one could be hopeful that it would happen. So, you know, you don't have to worry about me putting an LS in a Fox. I will only put Ford stuff in. I have to say, though, I did see a car at the Brampton or Mississauga show late last year in Ontario. There was a gentleman who did a 2JZ swap in his coupe. And not that I would have done it, but I was actually impressed by how they did it, and it was a clean install, something different. You know, I genuinely believe that it's not any one of our places to tell somebody how to modify or build their car. If they want to go down a path that we don't agree with, sometimes people need to learn the hard way. It's like children, you know, you tell them not to do something, and you know they go ahead and do it, and then they mess up, and then they realize. Although some of them just grow up to go against the grain the rest of their lives, and well, we don't need to get into all that, but you guys get where I'm coming with on that one. Yeah, Dutch kit, man. I always push the Dutch kit. I think they look great. They really complement the natural body lines of a Fox, and I think you really, if you're just turned off by a body kit or just because a Dutch kit's different, you've never seen it before, it's worth like giving it a double take. Like if you really look at a Dutch kit closely and you see how all the curvatures actually follow the natural body lines and the fender flares and the rear quarter panels and how everything goes, you actually become more impressed by what the Dutch kit is. And the reality also is that it was wind tunnel tested. It actually is proven. There's actually a bug in my camera. Look at that. All right. Yeah, so they're actually like wind tunnel tested for, so they're not just form over function. They are functional. BMW base. All right, Paul. Yeah, like honestly, the BMW world actually came after, much later than the Fox body stuff. I got into Fox bodies because that's what I could afford, because Fox bodies were cheap. Like my first one was an 83 GT. It was $1,500 running, driving, and it came with an 82 GT T-top that was rolled over as a parts car for $1,500. That's $1,500 Canadian. So that's like 1,200 real dollars, which is like nothing. So that would have been like back in what, 95, somewhere around there. So like the car in reality, it wasn't even that old, and it was only worth $1,200. So yeah, I had tons of Fox bodies after Fox body after Fox body, and let's see, I was 15 when I got my first Fox, and I was 21 or 22 when I got my first E36. And I always loved BMWs. and I got my first one. I bought it off eBay actually, and loved it. And then I took a little bit of shift. I still like Fox bodies, but I just kind of got more into BMWs as well. Super cool that they made the power that they did out of inline sixes versus the V8. I enjoyed the braking and the cornering abilities, and also the ability to slam them, because BMWs, it's like they're made to be lowered. So you can tuck your rim right in the fender wells, and you weren't worrying about scraping your exhaust on the road. So yeah, no real problems um, with a Fox body versus BMW. I just kind of like them both. And when I did the infamous project back in the day, when I did all the live streaming, I of course had one of each. And it's I prefer one over the other. I am a Fox body guy at heart, but if you honestly ask me what my favorite car is, I'd say my E39 M5 is probably my favorite car out of all the cars that I own, just because that is a 5-liter V8 in that car, 6-speed manual, the cornering, the braking, of course, it's supercharged as well. So it's like the best of all worlds put together in one car, and it is older. And I love the E39 M5. New BMWs are cool, but like I guess I'm just kind of an old school guy. That's why I still play with these old rickety Fox bodies, right? What else do we got here? What happened to the SN95? That guy has been in climate controlled storage since you saw the video. Actually, no, maybe it was just a post. I had it on a trailer. So it would have been fall of 2020. I put that into climate control. Every couple of months it gets started up and up to operating temperature and moves around, and that's it. I did find out it's actually a numbered Dutch car. It's not just a car that got Dutch parts put on after the fact. So I'm just going to kind of hold off. I'm waiting until the SN95 game picks up a little bit more, and once they get a little bit cooler, and I'll invest some time into it. I'll get it the way that I want. I want to do a wheel swap on it. I'm not a fan of those Cobra wheels that it has. And I need to figure out, I think there's a boost leak somewhere. I just feel like it's not making as much power as it should. So I'll definitely be playing with that later. Peter North here. Mercury Capri. Oh, thanks, Peter. 5,600 original miles on 83. That's pretty cool. Impressive to have for sure. So I think that wouldn't be a bubble back, which I actually like the Capris that didn't have the bubble back glass more. For sale at old lady's house. Man, that's where you need to find them. You need to, anybody looking, actually, the video that's going to come out this weekend with Project Come and Take It, it's just kind of like the final project reveal, if you will, and just kind of throwing out there that if you guys want a nice looking coupe for under 10 grand, it can be done. Some people were arguing that paying $6,000 for the car was too much, and being an X4 cylinder car, but with all of the stuff that had already been done, the paint and body being in really good shape for what it is, I think it was a really good buy. So that'll be an interesting one. So make sure you guys check that out. And all right, Stanley, thanks, man. What else we got? So yeah, I didn't think we'd be going on this long, to be honest with you guys. What do we got here? How many people are in the house? We got 48. Would have been cool if we hit 50, but it's all good. Not bad for freestyling, because nobody even knew this was going to happen. Well, if you guys got any more questions, I'm happy to stay with you guys. Let me just check my phone here. Make sure the wifey isn't like, where the hell are you? What are you doing? Oh, here we go. Well, there's Kazel. Actually, got a podcast to do tomorrow. Actually, we got a guy from the UK that reached out to us. He's got, I forget what, it's an Aero car GT, and he's had it for a long time. And awesome dude. So we're actually going to get him on a podcast. It's always cool when you get international perspective on these cars. And we're also hoping to get some guys from the Middle East. I was actually planning before I came back and left for good. My plan was to actually go to Kuwait and to Bahrain. And I actually had, there was one car show I was going to go to, and then I had other couple key individuals that I was going to meet with and go around and like just get the stories from these guys over there. Because believe it or not, like in Dubai, or the United Arab Emirates, I should say, the racing scene wasn't huge. It was more about, how good does your car look? How new is it? How much is it worth? Like more status stuff. People didn't care much about the racing. But the guys from like anybody who had anything built, the work was getting done in Bahrain. There was the Kuwaiti guys, Saudi guys. So definitely be great to follow up on some of those leads and share with you guys their stories, because it's when you got to deal with these vehicles at an international level, and like you're waiting on, it's sort of like right now how we're waiting on the supply chain and there's like a parts shortage, or we're waiting on things to come in and orders to get fulfilled. Well, those guys were dealing with that since the beginning. Do you imagine waiting to get your stuff put in a cargo container and waiting 30 to 45 days before that C-can showed up and your parts finally arrived? Like, I think we've had it too easy with all the Amazon Prime and everything else that spoiled us. Well, wifey's done work, so I'm gonna have to cut this short here soon, guys. Let her know that I'm almost done in the garage. Hopefully you guys are having good times with your significant others, or whatever it is. If you guys are flying solo, then making good use of your time. 6K four-cylinder coupes lately. Before that, model of the black Recaros and my white coupe. Those are a Recaro LX, LS, L something with the scatter pattern. I need to confirm that so that I don't get it wrong. It's either LS or LX. I want to say it's LX, but it might not be. Yeah, there's a lot of good deals in four-cylinder coupes. I think there's a lot of good deals on cars out there in general right now. You guys might have seen my video on my thoughts on the Fox body market. I think it's kind of leveled off a little bit. Whatever the reasons for that, doesn't really matter. Just the market is leveled off a little bit, so there are good deals out there. ASC McLarens. To be honest, I feel like everything on the McLarens, with the exception of the Capris, the ASC McLaren Capris, I liked what they did with the wheels. They had a lot of the orange features and all that. But the Aero cars, what they did with the convertibles, I feel like too much was like an aftermarket stick-on. Like things just didn't look natural. And that's the unfortunate part. It's kind of cool that they had like that Mercedes SL 500 look, the way they did the convertible top and all that stuff, kind of the two-seater feel, but all those little add-ons that they did on the outside, not a huge fan. The taillight cover things were actually kind of cool, though. I didn't mind those. Favorite speed shop in the GTA? Man, to be honest, if you really think about it, I haven't really spent much time in the GTA in a long time because, when I graduated university, I moved to Florida, then I went to Australia. I came back for a hot minute, and then I ended up coming to Texas, and I went overseas, and then, I went back to Canada just a little bit after I was done in Dubai, but nothing long enough to really interact or get to know any speed shops. I was too busy working on my own stuff, so I couldn't tell you there. Customer builds, again, you're going to have to hang on for that. I will be announcing more information on that in the upcoming weeks. Fox Mustang was European inspired. Yes, I do know that. And you know what? I should actually use that to my advantage. I should actually, because people always give me a hard time about the Borbets, about the lights and kind of my Euro flair. Call it it's like European inspiration, or like trying to mix a BMW into a Fox body. But yeah, no, that 100% makes sense. I'm going to start playing off that. Another Fox body collector in the Austin area. I'm not aware who that is. If you want to email me the details, it'd be cool to get in touch, even do a feature or video. Yeah, I'll get the wifey involved at some point. Like I said, I didn't even know I was going to do a live stream tonight. I don't even have my own branding on. Come on. Neo Mustangs is in the house here. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate it. And Paul, Coyote swap and the Lightning not happening. I am not a Coyote guy, honestly, guys. I got that twin turbo one because the deal was right, but I'm not a Coyote guy. I don't even know how to explain it. It's not that I don't like the motor or I'm trying to have a battle with anyone. It's just it doesn't appeal to me. I don't know how to explain it. Yes, ASE Verts had the bent down 8 pillars to get things nice gangster lean on everything else. What else we got? 5/8 swap in the Lightning. Well, yeah, there's lots of options. Lots of options, guys. But with that said, I'm going to cut it here, or well over an hour, which I didn't even expect. So I really appreciate all of you guys who have hopped on last minute and sharing the initial reveal of the headlights on the Cali Coupe. And I think it's going to be a win, especially once, I don't have a shitty old web camera hooked up and I get the car all clean and everything else. Get some nice pictures of it, and we'll get some really good feedback on that. And now that I know that my Wi-Fi is working well out in the shop, that you guys can hear me and we can interact, I'll come up with a schedule, and we can do more of these lives. So I guess that's it. Unless there's anything there. Ford takeover, maybe. I'd love to get up to Tennessee again. Lamborghini Huracan. Yes, so I'd love to get up to Tennessee again. I love picking up all the distilleries and all that other stuff. It's always a good time over there. So yeah, guys, thank you again. Hit the like button. Be sure to follow along. You guys know all my social media and all that stuff. You guys are tuning in live. I don't need to tell you all that nonsense, but thank you again for all your support. Be sure to just check on the community page or on my social media, and I'll be better about posting the next time I'm going to go live. And until then, we will see you next time. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night and enjoy your weekend.